Good morning, everyone. Thank God for this another day nga makatunta sa pulong sa Ginoo. And salamat kita sa Ginoo nga God uses the online, God uses the Facebook, regardless sa nangahitabo karon nga panahon, but still God is so good. Nakapaminaw lang gyapon tag mga wali from pastors. In fact, daghan gyud na paminawan ng mga wali sa mga pastors wood, and we thank God for that. And sa to nga pagtuon karon nga buntag, may request everyone to please turn your Bible in the book of Mark chapter 4 verse 35 to 41. Akong basahan sa verse 35, sundan lang sa mga mata atod sa verse 41. Verse 35. And the same day, when the even was come, he saith unto them, Let us pass over unto the other side. And when they had sent away the multitude, they took him even as he was in the ship, and there were also with him other little ships. And there arose a great storm of wind, and the waves beat into the ship, so that it was now full, and he was in the hinder part of the ship, asleep on a pillow. And they awake him, and say unto him, Master, carest thou not that we perish? And he said, and he arose, and rebuked the wind, and said unto the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said unto them, Why are ye so fearful? How is it that ye have no faith? And they feared exceedingly, and said one to another, What manner of man is this, that even the wind and sea obey him? Let us pray first. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you, Lord, nga makatuna po kami sa imong pulong. Salamat, Ginoo, sa mga resources nga mong ginahatag sa mga. Salamat, Ginoo, sa imong mga pulong. Always, Ginoo, nagpa-remind sa mga every now and then sa among ginabuhi. Nag-encourage, nag-correct sa mga Ginoo gikan sa mga mali na paggawin. Salamat karon nga buntag, ikaw Ginoo maghatag ka na magdangit ng kaalam sa ngalan ni Jesus nga luwas. Amen. Our text once again, Mark chapter 4 verse 35 to 41. I entitled this preaching Behind the Scene. A very common line, behind the scene. Menta matata sa drama gani, when we talk about dramas, nagid na behind the scenes. All those scenes, there are behind the scenes. And I would like to start with this line. The Italian Prime Minister said, We have lost control. We have killed the epidemic physically and mentally. Can't understand what more we can do. All solutions are exhausted on the ground. Our only hope remains up in the sky. God rescue your people. A very sad line nga ningon ang Prime Minister ba? We can't understand what more we can do. And as what we have heard from the news, Italy has the most number of deaths. Grabe, no? Grabe kadagad. In fact, Italy has 92,000 cases. Research na po niya last day lang. I don't know today. And 92,000 cases. And 10,000 plus deaths. Grabe good kadaghan. In fact, the president of Italy said that we don't have enough space to bury those people who died in coronavirus. Grabe. Ingana kadaghan ang patay ba? Sa Italy, in fact, sila ang first, pinakauna karon nga nay pinakadaghan nga patay sa COVID. But in Bible history, we are nothing on what we experienced this year. Of this month, we are nothing. Why? According to scholars, they believe that the number of deaths in the Bible times is 24 million plus. Imagine 24 million plus. O ang 10,000 sa Italy was only compared to the first plague of Egypt. Now, the first plague of Egypt is when the water turned to blood. When the water turned to blood. Daghay na ngamatay ato, more than 10,000. Kumpara na sa Italy nga nangamatay. 10,000. Imagine. Pero as a whole nga namatay sa Bible times, the scholars believe that 24 million plus. We don't know. But according to study, pero it has something to do sa judgment sa Ginoo. And the line is, if God will really pour out His judgment to those wicked and unbelieving nations, they will all be dead. If He pour out lang yung Ginoo ang judgment, no? Sa tibuok nasod, I do believe with all my heart that God is powerful enough to kill all those people. But the question is, who is behind all these sins? Sa magiluyo aning tanan. And sa atong passage karon, atong tanawon that on how God controls everything out of these fearful and dreadful situations. O kabalot ang tanan as a Christian, mga Kristohanon na nagapaminaw karon, nga ang naagyod sa luyo aning tanan, it is ang Ginoo gyud. You don't have nothing to blame. You don't have, wala na. Ang Ginoo ra gyud. And in our passage today in Mark chapter 4, let us look on how God controls everything out of those fearful and dreadful situations. And gusto na ko ipainamdom sa tanan daw. Sometimes we are too busy looking to those problems. Sometimes we are too busy nga mutanaw unsa na pud kay news ugma, unsa na pud pila na pud kay mamatay ugma, unsa na pud kay cases, pila na pud ka ang cases ugma. Sometimes we are too anxious for kung unsay mahitabo ugma ba. Sometimes you are too focused sa problema, but we tend to forget that someone who can bring us the answer. We tend to forget. And it is a reality. Reality yun. Nausay kitang tanan, we are more focused ba? Kung unsay nangahitabo karon wala na to na focus ba kung unsay kinsay tubag anong tanan. And the challenge for today, let us always trust God as He is always be in control behind the scene. The challenge for today, that let us always trust God as He is always be in control behind the scenes. And in Mark chapter 4 verse 35 to 41, it gives us three biblical proof as God is the controller behind the scenes. It gives us three biblical proofs. First proof is this, verse 35 to 37. I will only read verse 35. And the same day, when the even was come, He saith unto them, Let us pass over unto the other side. First point is this, Jesus promises them a promise of deliverance. Akong balikon, the first point is, Jesus promises them a promise of deliverance. And let us first see the background. Kabaluta that Jesus was speaking parable to the people and to His disciples in the Sea of Galilee. When in fact, sa chapter 4, verse 1 and 2, ningon siya diri. And He began again to teach by the seaside, and there was gathered unto Him a great multitude, so that He entered into a ship, and sat in the sea, and the whole multitude was by the sea on the land, and He taught them many things by parables. He began to teach by the seaside, and we know that it was the Sea of Galilee. And remember, pag abot nato sa verse 35, when the even was come, it is the same day. Same day lang. Pagtudlo ni Kristo, whole day, and when the evening was come, ingon siya, let us pass over unto the other side. Let us pass over unto the other side. But the point is, para sa ako, they took it simply. They don't know that line, let us pass to the other side, it is the promise of God. That is one of the promise of God. Pero, they took it simply, nga naman, from Galilee to Gadarenes, it took only 2 hours na travel, na sailing. 2 hours pa na, wala pa na yung makina. Sa una, hangin ra ilang gibasihan, karon wala pa na yung makina, walang takabalo, basta 15 minutos lang, 10 minutos na lang. It took only 2 hours of sailing. And according to study, storms and big waves is unusual to that sea. Sa Sea of Galilee, according to study, ang mga bagyo, ang mga hangin, it is so very unusual. And it only took took only 2 hours to sail. So dili nga na ano ba? So dili nga naka-risky. But the promise of God is this: let us pass over unto the other side of this. Let us pass over unto the other side. One commentator said, they took him without making any preparation for the voyage, without providing any food or raiment. He was sitting in a ship or boat, instructing the people in the same boat, probably ill-fitted to encounter a storm on the lake. They sailed. But my point is this: God gives them the promise. Jesus promises them a promise of deliverance. And we know that God gives us a lot of promise. God gives us a lot of promise, but we forget those things. Unsay nalimtan nato ba? We worry a lot and cry a lot as if that there is no hope. And disciples don't know what will happen in the middle of their travel. Same to us Christian. Unsay sa ato nga travel ba? Wala ta kabalo. But the promise of God, we will go to the other side. That is my promise. No matter kung unsay may tabo karon. The promise of God. Let us pass over to the other side. And ningon pa one verse, He will not leave us nor forsake us. Cling to that promise. He will not leave you nor forsake you. And sometimes kalimutan na ba? Makasadawan nun. Say kalimutan na. And hear what they don't expect in verse 37. And there arose a great storm of wind, and the waves beat into the ship so that it was now full. Muna na ito mo, na ay dako nga bagyo. Dako nga, kusog nga hangin. Ug ang mga balod naghampak sa ilang nga barko. And description sa Bible na halos mapuno na kini sa tubig. And pero wala nila nabalang, wala nila giuna-una ba ang verse 35 na gisulti ni Jesus Christ ba? Let us pass over unto the other side. Let us pass. That's why the lesson nga makuha diri, if God will make a word, mark His word. If God would really make a word, mark His word. Ang problema ng sa tao mga Kristohanon, usay, we are so genius in Bible, but usay ba, wala na itong ginakasing-kasing o claim gani ang mga promisa sa Ginoo. If God will make a word, then mark His word. So, Whitefields Baptist Church, God said to us if God commanded us to do outreach, to intentionally make disciples, atong missions, God will really bring us there. Basta nagtuta karon ba nga, COVID na, buwan na, human ang kalibutan. But, look, what is the promise of God, Whitefields of this church? Wala ba kita nakahimog outreach? Wala, hopeless na kita. God would really bring us there. That is the promise of God. If God promises that I will never leave you nor forsake you, then let us cling to that promise. God is too wise to be mistaken. Right? Mark His word. Nag-expect ba natin ng pandemic? Wala kita na-expect ani. But here comes the worldwide disease na nagapatay ang tao. Wala na-expect ani magsunan. But God makes a word. God makes a word. I will never leave you nor forsake you. And lesson po natin makuha diri, expect troubles in the midst of situation. And there's arose a great storm of wind, and the waves beat into the ship. I don't have any experience sa barko. Wala pa ako katrayan ng gibagyo sa barko, pero nakita ko na sa mga drama, sa mga movie. But some of you here, maybe you experience that. But of course, siguro kinsa may gusto gud i-prosecute, kinsa may gusto mamatay. Alam siguro, but as a Christian, we have to expect those things. For me, to those who don't believe sa Ginoo, for them it is a judgment. But for me, for us as a Christian, this is a testing. A great testing for us. And even the early church, their persecution was more severe than us. Sa early church, ang ilang persecution is more severe. And in fact, kung atong studihan ng Bible, they were suffering from skin disease. They were suffering from those people who was in the government na naga-persecute sila. Expect troubles in the midst of situation. But don't forget that Jesus Christ said, let us pass over unto the other side. God would really bring you there. Danon gid kasi Ginoo diha. Unsay may tabo sa tunga? Unsay may tabo karon? If wala dili pa nimo appointed day para sa imo. Kung na may plano ang Ginoo para sa imo sa maabot din, God would really bring you there. And let's look on chapter 5 verse 1. Let's look. And what is the promise of God? Let us pass over unto the other side. And verse 1 sa chapter 5. And they came what? Over unto the other side. Wow. What a promise. Di ba? What a promise. And they came over unto the other side. The promise of God is this. Let us pass over unto the other side. God will really keep His promise. God would really keep His promise. We knew a lot of promises, but we tend to forget those things. Now, one biblical proof that God is the controller behind the scenes. First, Jesus promises them a promise of deliverance. Second, verse 37 to 40. Ako lang basahon diri sa verse 38 and 39 to 40. And he was in the hinder part of the ship, asleep on a pillow. And they awake him, and say unto him, Master, carest thou not that we perish? And he arose, and rebuked the wind, and said unto the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. Not only Jesus promises them a promise of deliverance. Second, Jesus portrays himself as a peacemaker. Jesus portrays himself as a peacemaker. A very common line diri nga atong gibasa, peace what? Peace be still. Peace be still. Watong tanawon, mo ni, there arose a great storm of wind, and the waves beat into the ship. A wind that is suddenly whirled about upwards and downwards, and is said to be a storm or tempest of wind with rain. It was a sort of a hurricane. When we were in the same situation, siguro, mga kaigsunan, siguro, wala po tayo kalainan sa mga disipulo, baka ningon sila diya sa ilag yung ilang master ba. Kung nasa tayo in the same situation, siguro, we cried a lot. We are crying for help. But look how Jesus respond. Atong tanawon, kung giun sa pag-respond sa Ginoo, ang mga panghitabo that time. Sa verse 13 atong gibasa, and he was in the hinder part of the ship, asleep on a pillow. Sa fact nga, ang Ginoo natulog dito sa dulong gid sa barko, meaning, Jesus did not worry on their situation. Jesus did not worry on their situation. In fact, natulog pa siya. And maybe Jesus is resting ano man. Whole day iyang pagtudlog kinsa di kapuyon. Maybe that time Jesus was so exhausted. Gikapoy gyud sa maayo that time. That's why he was resting. For I do believe with all my heart that God, Jesus Christ is aware na nangahitabo to. But the fact that Christ is sleeping in the hinder part of the ship, asleep on a pillow, Jesus did not worry on their situation. That's why I really like this line. Storms are the triumph of his heart, of his art. Though he may close his eyes, yet not his heart. Oh. I really like that line. Though he may close his eyes, yet not his heart. Yet not his heart. That is why we have a song. And when we don't understand, and we don't see his plan, and when you can't trace his hand, trust his heart. You know? Sa hindi takabalo sa plano sa Ginoo ba, Lord? Grabe naman ang hitabo karang Ginoo. Grabe naman ni. Nagsapar, gutom na akong pamilya, Lord. Grabe ni, wala na Ginoo. But the fact sa other in the situation, Jesus is not worrying on their situation. Sometimes when we are in the storm, God seems to be silent. Di ba? Usay ba? Mabot ang panahon nga, Lord, asa mangga. God seems to be silent, unconcerned, and not presently appear. But remember what God promised them in verse 35. Let us pass over unto the other side. Muna ang promesa sa Ginoo. Pag-abutir, grabing kabalakas ang mga disipulo. Pero gipakita gyapon sa Ginoo that Jesus did not worry on their situation. But the disciples respond differently. They worried a lot. They even awake their master. Mo niya, nota, gipukaw pa yun nila ilang master. Nakabalo sila nga whole day, gabi, tudlo na. They even awake their master. Sometimes, our favorite line, Christian, is, Lord, you don't care us anymore. That's our very favorite line. Lord, nag-amping pa ba ka sa kuha? Lord, do you really care for your children? Anong mo nang hitabo karon? Lord, where are you? But I want you to remember, Christians, my son, always remember that you are in the boat of God. You are in the boat of God. You are in the hand of God, my son. Don't ever worry because you are in the hand of God. And when sa Isaiah that God is the mighty God, it means sa Hebrew mo na El Gibor, meaning He is the mighty hero. He is the hero. He will always protect us. That's why one quotation na akong nadunggan sa usa ka pastors. The most safest place in the world is not in the big walls, is not in the big armors, not on many bodyguards. But the most safest place in the world is when you are in the center of the will of God. That is the most safest place in the world, I tell you. Bisan pagpila pa na kamas kaya mong ipatong-patong diya siyang baba, actually, pero kung wala ang pag protector sa Ginoo, wala yun. The safest place in the world is when you are in the center of the will of God. Not only Jesus did not worry on their situation, Jesus calmed the situation. He did not worry, pero sa yung gibuhat. Jesus calmed their situation. And he arose and rebuked the wind and said unto the sea, Peace be still. Peace be still. And Matthew Henry said, there is something exceedingly authoritative and majestic in this command of our Lord. Psalm 83 verse 1, no need to open your Bible in the book of Psalms. I'll just read it. Psalm 83 verse 1, O God, do not keep silence, do not hold your peace or be still, O God. Psalm 107 verse 29, He made the storm to be still, and the waves of the sea were hushed. And Psalm 46 verse 10, a very common verse, Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations, I will be exalted in the earth. That God really calmed the situation. Will calm the situation. Patong tanawon sa verse 37, and there arose a what? A great storm. Pag-abot sa verse 39, and there was a great calm. Great storm ang gitest nila, pero ang gibalo sa Ginoo, there will be a great calm. That is why, for now, my son, we are in the great storm. But, God will bring us the great calm. Tulong ta, salig lang na siya. God will really bring us the great calm. One line, wow, kabalong asa na ko nandungan, but, manang nila, there is sunshine after the rain. Sunshine after the rain. Not only Jesus did not worry in their situation, Jesus calmed their situation, pero ato pang makita din kung giun sa pag-respond sa Ginoo, Jesus questions them after the situation. Jesus questioned them after the situation. Verse 40, and he said unto them, why are ye so fearful? How is it that ye have no faith? Gi-question sila sa Ginoo. And I want you to back in verse 33 and 34. Natay gamay observation din. And with many such parables spake he the word unto them, as they were able to hear it. But without a parable spake he unto them, and when they were alone, he expounded all things to his disciple. Before sila naglarga, naay time ba nga, si Jesus Christ yung mga disciples, siya yung gibuhat, he expounded all things sa verse 34. Pero natingala siya, paano to sa verse 40, nganong nahadlok mong Japon mo? Why are you so fearful? How is it that ye have no faith? Why is it that ye have no faith? Nga when in sa verse 34, they expound na ako, kanang gitudlo na ako sa inyo, ha? Gi-question sila, mga igsoon. And, when in fact, sa aning chapter, gitudlo sa Ginoo ang sower and the seed. Na kung unsa ang effect sa pulong sa Ginoo sa matag usang kasing-kasing. Pero kung sa'y gibuhat nila, they were so worried, and God asked them, why are you so fearful? We are not exempted to this, mga igsoon. Maybe you are listening this video right now. Maybe we are listening a lot of Bible preacher today online. But still you are so fearful over the situations today. Just like the disciples, before sila nanghawa, Jesus Christ expounded all things to them. At atong tanawon sa nitabo, Lord, you don't care for us. Kasi may kaigsunan. Maybe you are listening. Or maybe you are studying the Word of God. But after you study, after you listen, after you hear the Word of God, you are still wala ka nagtuo sa Ginoo. Don't wait that God will question you regarding of your faith. Don't wait. And I would like to share a story. Maybe some of you nakadugong na ni. There was a child, there was a student nga gipa-drawing sila og peace nga picture. Peace. Say peace. And many of the students draws nga naa sa mountains, nagatanaw dito sa kabukiran. Picture of peace. Napoy usa mga students nga nagadrawing og dagat, nga naa sila sa baybay naglingkod. Picture of peace. But there was one student nga nagdrawing og tangke de guerra, nagdrawing og pusil, nagdrawing og rally, pero na ay kahoy sa tunga nga nay natulog na lang. Kung natingala ang teacher, ano nag-drawing sa ingani? Aningon ang estudyante, Sir, Professor, let me explain my drawing. He said, the world, ang naa sa palibot nagkasamok na, pero nailanggam nga natulog. My point is, peace is not the absence of war, but peace is in the heart. Ang kalinaw igsoon wala na sa palibot. Kung ang palibot karon gubot na kayo na nagani mga viral sa Facebook nga nagpakamatay. But the true peace is in the heart. Nasa atong kasing-kasing. That really, I want you to examine yourself ba? Nabagid ko sa akong kalinaw. Nabagid ko kalinaw sa akong kasing-kasing. This time, behind all these scenes, God is the peacemaker. The first point is, Jesus promises them a promise of deliverance. Jesus portrays himself as a peacemaker. And the last is, and I will end up with this, Jesus clearly shows that He rules and controls everything. Ako balikon, Jesus clearly shows that He rules and controls everything. Verse 39 and 41. And He arose and rebuked the wind and said unto the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And they feared exceedingly and said one to another, What manner of man is this, that even the wind and the sea obey Him? I want you to know that not only the disciple was with Him this time. Nagyo siya mga kauban, other little sheeps, ang i-describe sa Bible. They see all those things, they perceive the works of God. Nakita nila to. Nakita nilang tanan. That Jesus clearly shows to everyone that He rules and controls everything. That He really rules and controls everything. Let us see few things that God controls the nature. First, that God controls the rain. Usa ka proof dia katong time ni Elijah sa ni King Ahab. Ganingon ang Ginoo, after many days the word of the Lord came to Elijah on the third, saying, Go show yourself to Ahab, and I will send rain upon the earth. Mga proof nga gikontrol sa Ginoo ang nature. Yung ba sa Job chapter 5 verse 10, He gives rain on the earth and sends water on the fields. Not only God controls the rain, God controls the sea. Not only the rains, but He controls the sea. A very common nga story katong nagtabok sila Moses sa Red Sea. Diba? Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord drove the sea back by a strong east wind all night and made the sea dry and the waters were divided. Not only God controls the rain, the sea, but God controls the wind. Mo nang usa ka dako ang conviction sa ko igsoon nga bisan kaning giginhawa nimo gikontrol na sa Ginoo. God controls the wind. And it is a few verses can give us a concrete evidence that God really controls everything. If God controls, can't He control His situation right now? If na-control na sa Ginoo, dili ba niya makontrol ang nangitabo karon? Makontrol gini niya. That's why sa verse 41, it will give us a lot of lesson. And they feared exceedingly. There is a great struck of amazement. They said to one another, What manner of this man? They were so amazed sa ilang nakita. Maybe it's the first time of their life seeing those things. Nana ba tayo nangita? Nana ba na experience ato may show na kanang first time pa nato nakita ang grabe ta ka-excited, grabe ta kalipay, yung first time natong nakita. Ingani nang ilang itabo, ingani na ang ilang gi-feel karon sa una. He said, What manner of man is this? there is a great struck of amazement. God amazes us every day in how He protects us, provide our needs, rescue us from sin. That is why I do believe that you experience tough and hard situation, but God did not fail to amaze you. Lamentations chapter 3 verse 23, a very common verse. There are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. There is new every morning. God did not fail na ipakita sa ato nga, Lord, you are so amazing. Lord, amazing ka kayo kay bisan pa sa tanan nga nangitabo karon, isa pa ko nga wala ko'y dili ko positive sa COVID. Na-amaze ko, Lord, kay everyday ginapamata ko nimo. There are new every morning. There are new every morning. There is a great struck of amazement, and they fear exceedingly, meaning there is a great reverence. Ang kahadlok nila sa Ginoo ba? Ang kahadlok nga ilang na feel atong storm, nabalhin ang ilang kahadlok dito sa Ginoo, tung pauno na sa Ginoo ang storm. And there is a great question in their heads. What manner of man is this? A great question ba? Sa ilang mata ko sa mga ulo. What manner of man is this? That even the wind and the sea obey Him. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Do you really know your God? Do you really know your God? A God that can able to stop the storm. A God that can rescue you from the depths of sin. A God can be able to open your eyes every morning. Do you really know Him? Natay ginakanta, for I know whom I have believed, and am persuaded that He is able to which I have committed unto Him against that day. 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 12, that is the line of Paul. Pero ginakanta na ito na. Actually, common na sa ito as mga Christians nga nakakanta, I know whom I have believed. But the question is, kailan ba kita sa itong Ginoo? Basin makailan rata sa itong Ginoo ba kung nanginhanglan na siya? The people said, what manner of man is this? A great question in their heads. We can fully know God, but we can trust God in everything. He did it already for you. He can also do it the same today. The God of Abraham, the God of Jacob, the God of Isaac is the same God na atong ang ginatuuhan karon. The God who stops the storm, the God who died on the cross for our sin, is the same God. That's why God really controls this situation. God is behind on this sin. All you need to do is to have faith on Him, to believe on Him, to trust Him. I would like to end on this verse, Proverbs 16 verse 33. The lot is cast into the lap, but its every decision is from the Lord. The lot is cast into the lap, but the whole disposing is of the Lord. Christian, always remember that God is behind on these sins. He is never absent. God is never absent on these sins. God has the full awareness. One Bible teacher said, God has the full awareness. God has the power to provide. Sa ako pang gingon din na, God is too wise to be mistaken. God knew everything. That's why, akong balikon, God is behind on these sins. Why? First, Jesus promises them a promise of deliverance. Jesus portrays himself as a peacemaker. And the last is, Jesus clearly shows that He rules and controls everything. God is behind all this thing. Let us pray. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for your word that really reminds us that you are the controller. You are the controller of this world. Lord, help us to apply those words. Hopefully, Lord, it will not pass away from our ears, but it will internalize, Lord, in our hearts and soul. Lord, protect your people. Bless everyone, Lord. Protect everyone. Ikaw rin yun ang mga Tuhan, Ginoon. We believe that apart from you, we can do nothing. So, maragid ang tanan himaya, ang mga tanan. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.